Good morning, everyone. Hope your evening went well. It was kind of cool here again in Wichita. Well, I think we peaked out yesterday in the high 70s. Supposed to be in the mid to upper 80s today. So with all the rain we've had, gonna be like living in western Tennessee, Alabama, or Mississippi. We'll have the humidity to go with the temperatures. Okay, there's no news to drive today's trading. We have EIA crude inventories looking for a draw of minus 1.3 million barrels. Then Treasury budget after the market closes at minus $139 billion. So we're down to the direction of the E-mini, which is soft right now. Equity markets around the world sold, and the 10-year auction. And I think early on the direction of the E-mini will provide early guidance, and then after a couple hours it's going to go to the 10-year. Now, they don't move paper with the market going straight up all day long without a piece of news as a catalyst to induce buyers to step up to the plate. So we should get some back and forth today. But yesterday's auction took place at 124, and my guess is today's auction will take place at a higher price. The pattern has been 3 up auctions in a row. And with an average price greater than the initial offering on the 2 or 3 year paper. The 30-year paper is hard to move. The knob spread held overnight, didn't strengthen, did not weaken. The market will be supported to move the 30-year paper at some point. So we had yesterday's low that was set. The overnight session's low that was set. London was higher. London's low right here was at 26.5. Came back and set that, and P and Q were a little bit lower. The market has come back, and we've got a P. So our buy zone where we are right now is going to be 1 to 29. And then if they bust the 28 level, my guess is they get stops beneath the overnight session low. We'll make it 25 to 21. And you can see probably the best resistance starts at this volume number, which is at 6.5, all the way up to the London high, which is 11. So a sell basically at 7 to 11 would kind of catch that. Might take a 5 or a 6 to get on a short. Not too interested in the short side today. Could sell against 12 to 16 pretty easily. Then 15 to 19 for sell too. So no news to drive the trading. We've got the direction of the E-mini initially, and then followed by the 10-year auction. I think the 10-year auction will be supported. Remember, this is a responsive market, so they make you sell into strength and buy into weakness. It's just the way that it works. And for go-with players, which most of us are, especially when we get into trading, want to buy something and see how far it'll go, or sell it and see how low it'll go. Being able to force yourself to buy into weakness with the right side of the market, or sell into strength with the market's bias, is very difficult to do. It's very easy to buy into weakness against what the market's doing, or to sell into strength against what the market's doing. And the battle that you're fighting there is perfection. You didn't buy the low, so you're going to sell a high, or you didn't sell a high, now you're going to buy the low. And that's a mindset that you've got to eliminate. Okay, we're roughly 11 points, so we got a little more volatility here. Sell 1, 7 to 11. We'd like to get it done higher, and then 15 to 19. On the buy side, the breakout came at 30. Got a little more room, so retesting that ledge, so we'll make 28 to 35 buy 1. And then buy 2, 21 to 25. Like the long side of the market today, better than the short side because of the auction, and I think a tradable low was probably set in the overnight session. Okay, gold held up overnight nicely, hasn't really moved. The dynamics are the same. You have retail account buying and planned buys as prices move lower. They see being able to save any money on a purchase they're going to make anyway is a good deal. And the piece that's missing right now is outright large institution, at least verbal or talk support for the market. And have to feel that some of them are building positions over time from the long side too. Okay, got a very, very clean break in this 55, 57, 58 area. And we had hoped last night to buy the 55, 57 area. Just touched the top at 58. And so we didn't, and it came right on the opening. So we're pushing higher. We've got this low volume area up at 77, really starts at 70. So 70 to 77 is a pretty low volume area. And we haven't spent a lot of time there. We've got our attractor at 62. So getting stops above the overnight session, sell 1 will be 65, 67, and sell 2 will be 70, 72. On the buy side, we're at 63, so our 59, 61, we'll move it up just a little bit. And then we'll make the move. The last rotate down yesterday was 55. We'll make 55, 57, buy 2. The Ukraine and Russia have resumed talks on natural gas. Germany was a part of it. 1/3 of Germany's energy needs come from Russian gas. And they have told the world from day one that we can work this out. Don't get excited. And you talk about, Russia was fairly well contained. And they had to kind of pay attention. They couldn't just run roughshod over the rest of the world. But Russia's broken out now. Russia's got a 30-year deal with China. China's kind of rubbing our nose in it. Russia's on the ascendant. A lot of that has been encouraged by this administration's foreign policy. Russia's going to cut a deal with India. Now, India and China will not put themselves in the position that Europe's in. But these are good long-term deals. They'll be solid. Russia's got immense reserves in natural gas and crude, and we'll be able to exploit that. So the United States, perhaps unwittingly so, is making it much easier for our historical and traditional enemies to gain on the world stage. We lost Mosul yesterday, the #2 city in Iraq. We snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. The headlines this morning, they showed our latest 2 helicopters are now in Al-Qaeda's hands. I mean, you could not script a story or a scene different than this. I mean, and it ain't. I mean, it's just a giveaway. The back door is open. The front door is open. You don't have to negotiate. You can just stick your hand out, and it's in your hands. So the tension. I mean, these guys have 2.5 years to do get as much as they can, and you know, it's really amazing. They're in the military, and I mean, I heard it in my day too, is that Muslims know how to die well. They're very, very courageous. They will stand up. They'll take a bullet. They'll expose themselves. They'll charge right into almost certain death. Don't bat an eye. And so you're dealing with a mindset. Most people are into self-preservation. And you're dealing with a battle that started in 645 A.D. And these guys have never changed their viewpoint. And to think that you can mollify them or buy them off, or that they're going to turn around their thinking, you're nuts. Hadn't happened for 1,300 years. Okay, looking at the euro, we liked the short side yesterday. We had hoped to sell 50s to 60s. They did manage to get prices overnight in the WNX, not this morning, over 50. Overnight, we were hoping to buy the 135 area, didn't get close to it. So we've got a buyer at 15 to 25. We're at 49, so our 50 to 60 is going to be sell 1. 75 to 85 is going to be sell 2. And on the buy side, we'll make buy 1 15 to 25, and then buy 2 at 135. We always saw the market getting down to this high volume number, this attractor right here. I think they're going for stops below 135, and we'll see if that can happen over the next couple of days. I mean, if you had to look at the world map and say, is the chances for peace increasing or decreasing, or the chances for war on the world? I mean, if I were Japan, Taiwan, Thailand, the Philippines, Australia, India, I'd be arming up. I would not count on the U.S. to do anything but welcome China's foray into anybody's territory. I'm not saying China, I mean, from a sphere of influence and the economic clout and the rest of it, I mean, Southeast Asian area, it would be naturally theirs or Japan's, depending on who's ascendant. But you don't have to be ruled by them either. Okay, looking at crude, we've got volume, and we have volume right here. Value area high held. We left yesterday's market wanting to sell 104. That's not right. Wanted to sell 475, 105, and we just touched it right here. So our sell worked yesterday. We were hoping to buy 104. So I still see really a 105, 104 market. So we're at 42, so we'll make 104, 104, 25. And I'm not as comfortable with this as I was for the overnight session, and then 50 to 75 for buy 2. On the sell side, 75 to the buck, and then we'll make it 25 to 50. Okay, for some of you that have downloaded the 6.5.4 version, On a lot of the contracts, the default is 30. On our F2 screen, we like 180 days of data, so you'll have to go into your parameters and change that if you want 180 days. Some people only put 30 days up because it shows them where the most recent activity has been. That's up to you, but I think 6 months of perspective on where the volume is, that's within the market's memory. All these large traders, when you get into these high volume areas, remember what they did back there. And the market does have a memory, and it tends to influence their decisions when they get back into those areas. Okay, the stock market, E-mini, the market can correct an overbought situation two ways. One of them is by moving sideways, and the other one is by a correction. Markets like to see breakouts retested, and when the breakout is retested and holds and the market starts to move up, you bring in that second round of money just off of technical trading. Hit the wrong button there. Excuse me. Okay, so what I want to show you is that when the market does make a move to new highs, you can get these pauses, and then we correct. And look at right down here, we don't spend a lot of time on the correction. We make another new high, the market pauses, and you can see that you don't spend a lot of time in the correction as they go back and retest the breakout. So we've had a very, very long pause here. So do we get a real quick correction to retest basically the breakout at 1900, or do we just kind of move sideways, say between 1925 and 1950? I don't know what the answer is going to be, but markets don't have to go down to cure an overbought situation. They can move sideways, and the breakout came from 1900 or 1925, so 1900, 1925 is going to be pretty good support. So we've had our first correction. 1954.75 is the high. Yesterday's high stopped right at 50. So 50 to 55 is resistance, and we're going to search for where support is. And we have really good support at 25, and then at 1900 based on structure. And you can see when we look at this chart that we have very, very little volume in these areas. So the first place I go to is right here. I just note the low volume numbers, the high volume numbers with an A. Here you have some volume at 26. The low volume number is 34. So planning to buy the 35-37 level is a good trade. Obviously, you've got to get through 38 to get there, and we're at 41. So for planning purposes, I'd like to buy 35-37 and then 30 to 32. We spilled from 46. We're at 41. It is aggressive, so our 44, 46 will be sell 1. And just like yesterday, 49.52 will be sell 2. And we will see what happens. No news to drive today's trading. Equity markets, Hong Kong and Europe are lower. We are lower. China and Japan's markets were higher overnight. And Asia tends to follow the United States. So we had a nice strong close yesterday. Asia being up would be what you would expect, and if the market were going to change direction, the markets, you would expect that to happen on London time, and that's what has happened. So you really have to, you do have to understand the dynamics. You do have to understand how the various markets fit together and what they usually do. It just helps you keep things in context and map your next play. Okay, it'll take at least 20 minutes to get everything up and around. I'm going to get busy on that right now. I'm going to turn off the recording, and I'll be back with you as soon as possible.